Hey leaders, I'm Whitney Williams, leadership strategist and keynote speaker, helping emerging leaders accelerate their career on purpose. Welcome to Facts Over Fear. Hey leaders, thank you so much for tuning in again for another episode of Facts Over Fear. This week we are talking about balance. Balance as a leader. We're going to hit on balance in parenting, balancing your life in general, and again, tying that back into what does balance even look like? I hear often, and I've actually heard lately, especially after taking this new role of that it's in books where everything cannot get 100% of you. And then at some point, something will not work out. Something will fail. And I think that the context that I was hearing that in was like, if you're a workaholic, your marriage will fail. And I just don't believe that. I believe that you can balance these things if you have a few things. If you prioritize, if you have context and communication skills to be able to explain to the people who are important in your world of where you are in the certain seasons, because I believe that balance is not doing everything and that some things will drop, but they just can't drop forever. So what it looks like to me is like a constant flow of like this. And so there's things that will be up here and then there's things that will be down here. So a constant flow of this continuously. And it's what are you prioritizing here some weeks and what are you prioritizing down here other weeks. So I don't believe that. And maybe I live in a la la land, but I'm going to tell you why. And the reason why is because I think to many people that balance looks like doing everything. And yes, I do a lot of things. My husband tells me that I'm a machine, but I think that I really do embody balance. And I say this all the time that there needs to be balance in everything. Balance in your relationships, balance at work, balance in parenting, balance in health, right? In maintaining your health, there needs to be balance. You cannot just eat all the junk food in the world and then never go work out at all, ever, right? But thinking that you can just do everything at the same level all the time is where it becomes unrealistic. Balance is not about doing it all, guys. What balance is truly about, it's about doing what matters the most when that is very necessary. So it's a lot of discernment needed in being a balanced human, a balanced leader, a balanced parent, a balanced spouse, a balanced friend. And it's about prioritization. So balance literally equates to prioritization based on a desired outcome that you want. It's not feelings, it's not pressure, it's not expectations. It's asking yourself in this moment, what result am I trying to get right now? Or maybe not just right now, but maybe even, near future or long term. What does that look like? Unfortunately, the truth is that things will drop. They will. It's just inevitable, right? Like things will drop because you are not perfect. You are just a human. And that doesn't mean that you're failing. It doesn't mean that you are not a machine. It doesn't mean that you're not destined for greatness because of that, right? Where the problem truly lies is letting it drop for too long. So I think that a lot of times they relate this to, marriages, right? Where it's taking someone for granted because you guys are not prioritizing your dates. You're not prioritizing the kids, prioritizing other people's feelings, prioritizing your time, prioritizing cooking dinner, prioritizing, like, there's a lot. I'm a mom, I'm a wife. I own 2 businesses. So I'm a co-founder of a golf club for women here in Jacksonville, Florida. I'm also building a leadership brand outside of my 9 to 5, and my son also had things to do. And so does my daughter, so does my husband, like, so does my sisters, so does my dad. My dad lives here in Florida. And so with thinking about all of those things, again, the problem is not that I think that I can do everything, but I definitely am someone who knows how to prioritize. I think that some of it comes in from starting out as an engineer. I think that some of it comes in from starting out as an engineer, right? Because as an engineer, you have priority levels, priority 1 through priority 5. A priority 1 is all hands on deck. It's urgent. Everybody needs to be trying to resolve that issue. So I really live my life based on priority levels. So if you'll hear me say, and I think that my husband has even adopted this, where there's priority levels, right? Is something a P1? Does it need to be handled today, right now, at this moment? Is it something that can wait? And I know that there's a saying of, like, don't put off today's task to tomorrow, like, there's a whole saying, right? But if it is not a P1 and it can be handled at a later time, or it's not that I don't have to take care of it right now, or that it's not important for me to even put energy to it this moment, everything is not urgent. And so even in leadership, it's the same way. Everything is not urgent. Your team members are looking at you, they're watching you on how you handle certain things, because your stress level can affect their stress level. And everything is just not urgent. Everything is not important. And as a leader, we need to decide where energy goes. We need to decide what actually moves the business forward, and what are the decisions or tasks or activities that we need to be focused on today versus the long to-do list that we even have, right? Or the things that we want our team to spend their energy, effort, and time on that actually move the needle where it needs to go. Then you have the other part of leadership, where it's balancing how you handle certain situations, but also how you handle your team members. When is that time that you need to show up and you need to coach? When is that moment where it's no longer time to be cool, calm, and collected, and now it's time to say, hey team, we aren't meeting our goals, and we are, this needs to pivot. This needs to become more priority. Or when you're taking a team member to the side in a one-on-one and you're explaining to them, hey, this is how I feel that you can improve, so that you're doing them justice, right? And it's similar to parenting. So, of course, these are adults that you're dealing with, and I don't want to imply in any way that they're your children, because they are not. They deserve respect. They deserve to be talked to as if they are adults. But in speaking about balance and how you handle certain things and how you handle certain people and situations, I think that it makes me think about parenting, because in 2026, it is a big thing of gentle parenting. So what does that look like? There's a huge misconception that gentle parenting is no structure at all, that you're just so nice, so sweet, you let everything go, everything was great, even if your kid wasn't great, that it's all right, it's okay, you'll get it next time. You don't discipline. That is what it is, right? Like, gentle parenting equals no structure. And then discipline equals there's a lack of love, because now you're too hard on them and you're going to cause childhood trauma, right? But as for me, it's balance in everything. And it's really both. Like, you need to gentle parent sometimes, and then you need to also discipline at other times. And at all times, know that there's a certain outcome that you want in this little human, or teenage human. And that's why you're doing what you're doing. And so I think that it's just similar in that as well, as far as leadership goes, that you focus on both the human that you're raising and the outcome you want long term. And so in leadership, focusing on the results that you want, the outcome that you want, what moves the business forward, and what is necessary. Everything isn't for you to yell at your kid about. Everything isn't meant for you to just go easy about so that you can be their little friend. Everything doesn't deserve the same reaction. Everything doesn't deserve the same priority. And that is so important in finding balance. So important in balance in everything. Like literally, balance is in everything. And it is so important to everything. There has to be balance across your entire life, you guys. And the deeper that you get into leadership, the more that you understand how important balance is. Because again, you don't want to leave anything dropped for too long, or it will fail. It will fail, right? If you don't pay attention to your spouse, because you're just so into what you're building and that is just 100% all the time, what you're building, what you're working on, where you got to be, where you got to do, what networking event, all the things that you never take priority to still stop and love on your spouse, do nice things and have a good time with your spouse, prioritize that relationship. If that's always here, even if it's at 50%, 25%, and 100% is given over here, it's just not going to work. Same with your kids. If your kids are only getting a small percentage of you all the time, it can't be like that. You're going to have to say, okay, this can wait because it's not a P1. It isn't. And right now my kid is a P1. Or right now my husband is a P1. Or hanging out and prioritizing your friends are a P1 because it just hasn't been done. And maybe for self-care, maybe for, things like that, they have to be prioritized. And it just won't be up here all the time, but you got to level it out. That's balance. And so across your roles in your life, being a corporate leader, a mom, a wife, a business owner, a community builder, I don't try to do everything at once. I think that is so important to remember that it may look like I'm doing a lot of things, but I'm not trying to do everything at once. I do what matters in the season that I'm in. There's building seasons, there's resting seasons, there's go all in on your family seasons. And then it's that context that I'm able to provide so that in a season where maybe I am working this hard on my business or corporate, I got a new promotion. There's a lot of things that I need to put forth in order to show an impact over here that I'm able to communicate. That right now, this is where I'm at, but we're going to go plan to do this. That's where that prioritization comes in. That on my calendar, right, I can put on there that this is what this weekend I'm doing nothing but family stuff. That's it. That's all. And I think it's strategy, but it's real life strategy, and it works for our house. It works for here. Even being able to tell your kid that I'm tired, right? I am tired, and you get a chance to rest. I just need a chance to sit down and do nothing, right? Today we're in the house. You can play the game all day. That's fine. But today we are in the house, or I'm not cooking today. I have someone who comes to clean my house. Now, do I clean? Yes. Is my house dirty? No, it's not. But as far as even balance for me, it's nice to know that someone's going to come twice a month and they're going to deep clean. They're going to do some things, and then that gives me some of my time back to then put somewhere else. that I think is more important, which is my family, which is being able to just say, okay, well, this morning on a Saturday, we're not spending hours cleaning. We're about to just go. We're going out of the house. It's a beautiful day outside, right? So real life is balance across the board in all these different aspects, in how we handle everyone in our world. How we are communicating that is really important. Some weeks, work gets more of me. Some weeks, family gets more of me. Some weeks, I need more of me. And balance, it just shifts. That it's a beautiful thing, honestly, because if you are balanced, you really understand that it will shift. So you prioritizing the things that are important to you is how you balance. Understanding the outcomes that you want is why you balance. You can't just show up like a chicken with your head cut off. And so if those things are important to you, you will stop rebelling and you will start planning, right? You will start looking at everything as a whole. You will start giving things priority levels. Today, I'm not cooking. On the weekends, I'm not cooking, but I do cook all the rest of the days. But on Friday, Saturday, I'm not cooking. So everybody needs to figure it out around here, right? I am a human. I am only one person. I don't gentle parent. I parent. I parent with love. I parent with lessons, full of love, full of lessons, right? I lead with lessons. I don't lead from a point of being a dictator, but there's a time and there's a place for everything. And I just really think that that is so important to remember, how balance fits in and how it can regulate so many different things in your life, and understanding that some things will be up here, some things will feel like it dropped, but it is not failure. And that if you keep it dropped for too long, it will fail. You have to know when to pick it up, when to set it down, just like the art in letting go, right? So balance is going to leave you with this. Balance isn't about keeping everything steady. It isn't. It's about communicating where you are in the season. It's about communicating what in this moment may be more important than this over here. It is prioritizing your life, your reactions, your time. It's about knowing what matters. It's about adjusting accordingly. That's what balance is. And those are the facts. Those are the facts, okay? So facts over fear this week, balance. Get yourself balanced. Communicate to the people that you love that maybe you're on a mission right now. And the mission that you're on requires this much of you. But as soon as you get to this goal, I'm going to release a little bit, give a little time here, and then I'll go back here. And we'll tip the scale again, and it'll go back here. And maybe it all just needs to sit right here so that I can prioritize me right here. Okay? But you lead from the front. You lead by example. And so be balanced, guys. Find some balance in your world. It can't all have you at one time, but it sure can look like it. I think that I make it look really easy, and it isn't. But I think I'm very good at prioritization and very good at providing context and communication. So thank you all for joining once again for another Facts Over Fear episode. I hope that you find balance this week. And I hope that you tune in again to watch another episode. My 12-week cohort Registration is still open, and I hope that you sign up. You can sign up in the link in the description. And thank you so much. Have a great rest of your week. Bye, leaders.